The following program is rated BB/MA/LSA. It contains strong language, sexual situations, awesomeness, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener indiscretions are advised.
Welcome to our Bliss Bringers podcast. The materials we cover encourage adults of all ages, nationalities, and sexualities to open up and embrace their wildest desires and blissful pleasures. You won't find medical advice here, just our personal experiences following the journey of sexual evolution and education in sizzling fun topics that were definitely not taught to us in school, but have wickedly blossomed into reality. We discuss adventures in ethical non-monogamy, kinks and fetishes, exotic places to visit, sexy events, workshops, and tips. Allow us to seduce you into embarking on new adventures where each day you ask yourself, what's your pleasure?
Welcome everybody to episode 2 of Bliss Bringers, Bearing It All. I'm just John. With me, I have the lovely...
I'm Mistress Cindy.
Captain.
Professor T.
Before we jump into our main subject of the day, does anybody have any personal updates?
All right, so last weekend we went to an event. We don't get away too often to do these events as much as we want, and this one was organized, the Candy's Adventure. They're over here in the Bay Area, and last week there was a hotel. I wouldn't say it was a takeover, but there was quite a few of the folks here in the Bay Area that attended it, and it was a lot of fun because it was they took a big room and they had dancing and a hosted bar at the hotel, and it was DJ with happening music, and afterwards quite a few of us had our rooms on the same floor, so we felt like teenagers running around going from room to room, but it was a lot of fun. We opened up our room and had our toys.
I put some of them out, and that attracted some interested parties. Basically, our hotel room was more like a meeting central. Ended up to be. That was pretty interesting.
It was fun. Well, I walked in and it looked like one big massive orgy with spankings and gigglings and laughing and people all over the place. It was fun.
Just by putting a few items out on the bed?
Yeah, it was like a magnet.
Yes,
wow.
Yes.
And be a magnet.
I did get to practice my rope skills a little bit.
Yes.
On various people.
Yeah, you are really good. It looked really good, all the harnesses that you were setting up.
I did a couple of harnesses. I did one of the Midori slings, which came in handy. And
thank you, Midori.
Yep.
What is the sling?
It's where you tie up the arms to the legs, so you have...
Oh, right.
Yes.
And then their legs, the partner's legs are spread open, making...
Yes.
And then you tie the hands separately.
Yeah.
And that was interesting.
We got to play with the electricity, my favorite little toy to zap men's balls with my tongue.
Oh, did you give anybody the dagger tongue zapping?
Oh, yes.
Mr. Penzer the week before?
At the end of, so we did a lot of playing, and then at the end of the night, we're all fairly tired. There was one woman who came in who was sort of looking like, I don't know if I should ask.
She was brand new.
So we said, would you like to try some rope? So we tried that. And then, we did the violet wand on her. I asked her, are you into spankings? She said, yeah, maybe. So I spanked her. And She liked that a lot, apparently. And
this is a brand new
Had she ever been spanked before?
Yes, I think so.
She has. Okay.
Oh,
and
so this looked like she was new.
Well, no, she didn't get a chance to play with all the toys that we were demonstrating on her. So it was a newbie with quite a few of the toys that we enjoyed carrying with us.
Well,
but it was good, from showing her some of the different things going on, and then a couple of the gentlemen, they'd never been zapped with the violet wand, so it's always a pleasure to lick and snap, crackle, pop them.
Yeah.
And were these all people that you had met before, or were they
Nope.
Nope, it was half and half. That was the nice thing about the event, is seeing quite a few of our friends that we don't get a chance to just socialize with regularly because of our busy schedules. So it was a great social butterfly, and just John and I did the divide and conquer. I wanted to stay down and in the dance area and socialize, and he actually went upstairs with I don't know, probably a half a dozen other folks, and one of the it was pretty cool because it was like, oh, I'll see you in a couple hours, but I got to tell you, it was like 3 hours later by the time I left, and I didn't realize how quick the time flew because I was talking to everyone.
What I found interesting is getting to know people's bodies and people's reactions when you just met them. I was fairly proud of it. The one woman that we played with at the end, I was totally tired, but I said, okay, she wants some spanking, so let's see what we can do. And afterwards she was like, oh, thank you, that was so long ago. I said, what was long ago, that you got laid? No, that I got into subspace. So she was having a really good time. She's another satisfied customer. So.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the highlights. I mean, there was quite a bit.
How many would have been there?
I don't know, 100?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
So it was a big like ballroom in the hotel. And the funny part was, well, we went to sleep at around 4. By the time we got up, we stumbled out to get for breakfast. Everything was transformed into a prayer group event.
I had to giggle because I knew what I was doing on my knees on that dance floor just a few hours before they arrived.
That's funny. And then mentioning it on Twitter, now we have a prayer group following us on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will appreciate the fun updates that we can give them.
I would highly recommend folks that come into the Bay Area to check out Candy's Adventures for their events because the people are great, they're fun, they're social, and
cool.
Okay.
Nice update. Thank you. In episode 1, we talked about our origin stories, and one thing that the captain and I didn't mention was that we actually documented a vanilla version of our first trip to Desire for a radio program. So the idea at that time was that we were going to be going to our first nude resort. And after I agreed to it, I started to get nervous. I felt kind of uneasy about my, exposing my body. And I was really nervous about bearing it all in front of strangers. So together with the captain, we did an audio documentary about my thoughts and feelings leading up to going to the resort. And then we recorded sort of key moments through the trip, from the first time I took off my clothes to the first time that I got up out of a chair and walked without clothes. And so you could call this kind of the prequel to our origin story.
Episode 0.
In this week's episode, we are going to let you in on it. So we're going to let you hear the results of our week of recording at Desire back then.
I always say no. I always say forget it. There's no way. You can just stop asking now. But this year, he kind of wore me down.
I don't know what to bring. I think I'm going to pack just as if we were going to a normal resort.
That's my husband. The story starts with him.
Yeah, why aren't we just going to a normal resort where we don't have the added stress?
Maybe it's to go beyond some barriers.
What's wrong with barriers, honey? What he asked me was, do you want to go to a nude resort? Come on, it'll be fun. Well, what do you have there on the bed? Well, you need stuff to wear to dinner, right? We got to wear clothes sometimes, don't we?
I guess we do. I'm not sure when, though.
I mean, we have lots of sunblock.
Okay, so we zip it.
Wait, that's not closed. He says being nude is no big deal. He loves it. He always says they grew up nude, whatever that means. We did not. In my family, we did not grow up nude. In the end, I figured, why not? What's the worst that could happen? 10 worst things that could happen at the nude resort. Number 10. An all-over sunburn. Number 9. What if I get ogled at all the time? Or what if I don't? I don't know. I don't know which would be worse, if people kind of stare at you admiringly or if people, don't.
Who knows? I'm not too worried about
nervous.
it. Are you? Yeah.
I don't see the point, really, of
Well, it's funny. You don't see the point, yet everyone I told that we're going to a nude resort, they all react in, oh, wow, that is cool. I'm kind of excited to go to a nude resort.
Yeah, well, you like being nude. I mean, I understand being nude, I guess. But what do you like about it?
Well, with a group of people, you lose the sense of the body shapes, sizes. After a while, that does not exist. And it's like shedding everything, including your clothing.
Right.
I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
That part sounds nice,
Yeah.
Honey. I had a mental list of 10 worst things that could happen. It started off, I just thought maybe 1 or 2, but the list just expanded and expanded. Number 8. I might never adjust. I might just, you know how everybody says, oh, after an hour, you'll feel totally comfortable and you'll hardly notice that you're nude or that everybody else around you is naked. Well, that might never happen. Number 7, just the general idea of swinging body parts, which I think is part of what makes beach volleyball so unappealing. Number 6, beach volleyball. I don't get why anybody would want to play volleyball with no clothes on. It's night before. We're leaving at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and I'm standing in front of the mirror naked, and I'm looking at my body. I see some parts that I like. I like my neck. You know, I guess my breasts are okay. They don't sit up the way some do. I can't imagine running along the beach or anything without support, but I feel a little chubby in the stomach. I have trouble picturing myself feeling totally comfortable with it exposed. I don't know. Hello. Thank you. Thanks, honey.
It's the first time?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
I feel like this is such a confession because no matter what I believe intellectually all of my life, I have wished to lose a few pounds. It's a really deep-seated piece of self-image that just doesn't seem to want to go away. I was trying to draw it out as long as I could. I'm not quite ready for school. Close quarters, I'm not comfortable yet.
Yeah, I like it here. It's nice.
The next thing I knew, he had nothing on, and he just basically said, it's time. This is happening a little too quickly. We don't even have a room yet. He's totally nude. I still have everything on, a cover-up and a bikini. I don't even know what to do right now. Do I take off my top?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure? I
That's
take off
for
my
sure.
top?
Yeah.
See, this is all happening really too fast. Okay, now I'm topless.
I would take the bottoms off too.
Take my bottoms off?
Yep. It's time, honey.
Time? Okay, I'm taking my bottoms off. But then we're going to go have...
Yeah, we're going to go have
That's
lunch.
right, and then I put them back on. I can put them back on.
No, you can...
Well, I'm going to put that cover up on.
Okay.
After I did it once, it got a little bit easier, but not super easy. Number 5. Well, what if everyone's just hideous? You know, like a few people have said to me, isn't there a reason we wear clothing? Oh, maybe everyone's just going to have, like, bodies that do better when they're covered. Number 4. What if everybody else isn't hideous? What if they're like 20 or 30 something fitness instructor types? That, I think, would be even worse. You know, I'm 44. I have a 44-year-old's body, and I don't need to have fitness types prancing around naked. Number 3. Just the idea of having to get out of my chair, nude. Reclining nudes are attractive, but once you get up, I mean, everything sort of settles. I had my clothes off. We were reclining by the pool, but I had a bag of things just about 10 feet away from where we were. And I needed a book. And I could have put my cover up on, but I thought, okay, everyone else is nude. Everyone else is walking all over the place. So, okay, you can do this. And I got up and I felt so exposed. I just walked 10 feet and back, totally nude.
By the pool in
public. In public.
Right. How do you feel?
But I think I'm starting to relax. Yeah, it's actually not so bad. But I mean, we're just lying here.
Right.
Lying is pretty easy. Number 2. What if I run into someone I know? Someone from work? You know, there's no one at work who I really want to get naked with. Number 1. What if I discover that deep down, the fact is, I'm just a prude, and that's why I don't want to take off my clothes in front of people, and I don't want to see people with their clothes off. I think the idea of being a prude makes me feel old. Wow. That was great. Swimming in the ocean with no clothes, that is a no-brainer. That is fantastic. Okay. I knew I finally got comfortable with being naked when I actually wanted to go for a walk along the beach.
Yeah. Morning.
Morning. So we're going to go for a little walk. There's not that many people out, actually. It's still pretty early.
Morning.
Morning.
You have definitely... I can't believe how relaxed you are right now. Walking with you.
Yeah,
and you're
I feel
nude,
really good.
and you are not even, there's nothing going on. That's great.
And we've even passed a couple people with clothing. Finally, we had to get dressed. And when we were waiting for our airport transportation, I felt like I couldn't wait to get them off. I felt like it was the opposite of when we arrived. We drew out as long as we could, having to get dressed again. I'm standing in front of the mirror at home now. We're back. And I have to say, I like my body. I feel good about it. I don't think I've ever felt this good about it, actually. It was a great revelation to me yesterday when I had to wear clothes again. Clothes are part of what make me feel fat. Okay, so I didn't do the nude yoga, but maybe next time, because there will be a next time. I can't hardly remember why anyone would want to wear a bathing suit or a swimsuit at the beach. I still have the memories and even a few photographs. Not many, but a few.
That's the vanilla version of our first trip to Desire. And it's all true, but as you all know, a lot more than that happened. And it led to a whole lot more than me feeling comfortable about my body. And oh yeah, I can assure you that I am not a prude.
Yeah, we can testify to that, I think.
Oh yeah.
So this was made for a regular radio program that a lot of people we know listen to. It was a weekly program. And so after it aired, a lot of my friends, colleagues, family members, a lot of people heard it. And I actually had the next day or a couple days later, I went to a meeting at work, and one of my colleagues said, "Oh, I heard your radio program. I was in the car with my kids, and I had to turn it off when you started talking about your breasts. I couldn't listen anymore."
Oh my gosh, your colleague had to turn off the radio?
he had to turn off the radio because I guess all he could do was picture me naked, and he didn't want
He was driving with a hard-on.
No, I don't.
Probably.
No.
I know if I'd have been T's colleague, I'd have been driving with a heart on, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
It was very innocent. You all heard the show.
Yes.
He was fantasizing, Professor. He was fantasizing.
You think so?
I hope.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everyone listened to it. My parents listened to it. All my friends listened to it. Yeah.
That's fantastic. What a great experience.
It was a good experience. I enjoyed it.
We've come a long way.
Evolution, baby. Evolution.
Sexual evolutionaries.
Exactly.
And I think on next episode, we'll dig a little bit deeper on the non-vanilla part. So thanks, Professor, for this introduction.
You are welcome.
Naughty news of the week.
So, Professor, I hear you have some news.
Midori's Evoco art exhibit just opened in San Francisco at the Center for Sex and Culture. It's at 1349 Mission Street, and it runs April 5th to 28th, and it looks awesome. People should check it out.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures being tweeted, and it looks very interesting.
She's also a talented woman, a talented artist, and
yep.
I would see it if I was there. And the Center for Sex and Culture is just a pretty cool place anyway.
I agree.
Love to go there.
Hey, was that where the rope dojo was held?
Exactly. A lot of stuff is going on there, and it is by itself an interesting place to visit.
It is. They have a lot of magazines and books and artwork. It's really a great place.
And I'll put a link to that in the show notes. So exciting news. We now have our official Blissbringer phone number. That is 231-62-BLISS or 231-62-25477. You can call this number, leave a voicemail message with your questions, your comments, any suggestions that you might have for us. We may play it on the show, and if you're comfortable with it, we can even call you back live. So give us a call, and you may be on the show.
That's a pretty exciting invitation, if you ask me.
Yes.
Hey.
Luscious Labs with Professor T.
So, Professor, what did you cook up for us this week?
So this week, the captain and I experimented with, we kind of used the 15-minute orgasm idea and decided to try the 15-minute blowjob. And we based it on the chapter in the book Blow Him Away, where they say, here's a surefire, drive him crazy blowjob.
Did you blow him away?
Well, I guess you'll have to ask him. So they call it the basic mind-bending blowjob, a blow-by-blow account. And I'll just give you my perspective first, and then you can ask the captain what he thought. It didn't really blow me away. I found it a little bit harder to do than the 15-minute orgasm, because the 15-minute orgasm, he just had to learn one thing and do the same thing over and over again for 15 minutes. But for a blowjob, you got to switch it up. You got to do the sort of sexy, seductive tease part, which I actually quite enjoyed.
So did I.
Yeah, sort of taking it slower, before you dive into the cock. A little kissing and a little bit of moving down the body and then moving back up again, and then almost touching you and then kind of going down between, the inner thigh instead, and a lot of licking and kissing and sort of sucking, not that kind of sucking, but little sucking, little teasing. I had fun with that part.
That sounds delicious.
It was. It was like playing with the balls a little bit. Well, he's got sort of sensitive balls, so I have to be careful. You said you don't like it when I suck on your balls.
No, I don't.
Makes you wince a little bit.
Yeah.
The teabagging thing doesn't work for him. But the thing with me, once I really start getting into it, my eyes start watering and my nose starts running. And that's just not very sexy. But,
what do you mean by getting into it?
Like, when I start, really kind of deep throating, and when once I'm focused on the cock, and I'm kind of moving up and down the cock in my mouth, and I like to use my tongue quite a bit. This book has at the beginning all these tongue exercises and mouth exercises so you can get a strong mouth going. Because I used to get fatigue. I don't get it anymore. Like jaw fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it anymore.
And so your eyes start to water when you
My eyes start to water. Yeah, when the cock starts going to the back of my throat.
Mm-hmm.
That's about when my eyes start to water.
I believe that's common. It happens to me too.
Because I haven't noticed anyone else.
So I think the thing is to not worry about it then.
Right.
Because if you watch some of this and some of the porn, they're not worried about it.
No, it's good when the juices get flowing like this. A lot of saliva. I liked how much saliva there was. Yeah. Like I got the lube out, but after a while it was like my own saliva was enough.
You sure that wasn't Captain's clearness coming forth?
Yeah, a little bit. We did it twice.
Yeah.
With the timer. And we did the no goal thing.
Well, but that's something that I wrote. I realized a few things that I cannot go into this being goal oriented. In other words, I can't go into this thinking that I have to come or it has to be a certain outcome. So I just want to let go more and just enjoy the experience of it.
So this morning we had a bit of a miscommunication.
Yes.
Because I was really getting into it, and I thought you were like moving.
I was really into it.
His stomach was even spasming. Like I've never seen that before.
It was a real nice experience.
And he was, biting his lip, and he was really.
I was.
But then, just when I thought everything was going amazing, he kind of pushed me aside and started jerking off, and I'm like, what the fuck? The timer hasn't even gone off yet. I'm not.
T took it the wrong way. And that's where I'm talking about being goal-oriented, because I thought, oh boy, she's doing all this work, and I don't know if I'm going to come. So I thought, okay, do I need to...
That would have been okay.
So it's just a lack of communication.
I don't even really want you to come in my mouth, to be quite honest.
Well, I can't wait until I do.
Then he's doing the whole jerk off thing, and he's telling me to suck on his cock. Well, your hand's on it. I can't suck on it while your hand. So the lab, I'm done with that lab.
No, we're not.
No way, man. No way.
It's, the perfectionist here. It's our second time trying it, and it was excellent. I really enjoyed it. We just need to practice it more. And just enjoy the process. But I will say, I get so horny during all this that I just want to fuck her.
Yeah, but like with the 15-minute orgasm, you're not allowed to do it until 15 minutes.
That's right. So we have to learn to take our time.
Mm-hmm.
Which we normally do. It's just that I also was trying to get to a yoga class.
Yeah. Wow. So
you had a lot of things scheduled for the day. Come on now. You had 15 minutes. You could have used your 15 minutes. You rushed it, Captain. You rushed it.
Yeah, that blowjob that goes into our time for downward facing dog.
Anyway, so, I've got my own approach that I normally use, and it's not bad, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's all for science.
This is all for science.
Yes.
But the chapter, it's very complicated. Like, I need to reread it because they've got you doing this, and then you do that, and then this and that. And it's just a lot to remember.
Were there any methods new that you hadn't practiced previously?
Yeah, actually, there were a couple. So one that I kind of liked, that I think you liked too, was at the beginning, like in the teasing, in the approach part. Before you really start going at the cock, like putting the whole thing in your mouth, they say to do a couple of big, like, lollipop licks right up it.
Yep.
I've never thought of that before.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. Yeah, so what the chapter recommends actually is do some exploring and look for his hot spots.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to experiment, like touch the perineum, touch the ass, see how he reacts to that. These are all part of it, right? And the kind of searching for the holy nerve centers, they call it, where you basically move your lips up and down the cock and try to pay attention to how, like, you can use kind of a light sort of suction when you're doing that. I did that this morning where I was pulling up parts of your skin.
Oh, okay.
Did you remember that part?
Well, all I know is whatever you were doing was really good. It really was. It was a really nice experience. I think we just got a little caught up in
wanting it to happen. You know.
That's good.
Yeah.
But the light suction, that was another thing where you sort of, the mobile suction where you're sucking really lightly and you're kind of have the soft part of your lips on the shaft. Mm-hmm. And you're running along the shaft a few times in different spots to try to figure out where does he wince and where does he go, ugh. Yeah.
I love T's attention to detail.
When you have the pre-cum, they say, oh, you should like dip your tongue in it and pull your head back. They call it the cotton candy stretch.
That's the porn shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then dive back in like it's your favorite food, they say.
Okay, that's definitely written by a man, wasn't it?
No, actually. No, the author's name is Marcy Michaels and Marie DeSalle.
Men are very visual.
Yeah.
Yes.
So are we going to give this a rating based on the book?
Or the blowjob?
How many thumbs up? Is it for the experiment or for the book? What's it going to be for?
You know what? I would give the book 2 thumbs up, and I would give the experiment, for me, 1 thumb up.
So
you too?
Yeah. Because we're both learning.
Okay.
He just wants another blowjob.
I'm learning how to accept it and get one, and T is looking how to give one.
If anything, it's a great reason to get a blowjob. We have to practice for the luscious lab.
Yeah.
Quote, unquote, practice.
I really enjoy giving blowjobs.
Which I really appreciate. I do. I do. I like foreplay, and I think that's an excellent foreplay.
I do too. I love foreplay. Lots and lots of foreplay.
Thanks for that. I think that's all we have time for this week. You can email us at info@blissbringers.com. You can review us on iTunes. We really need a couple reviews. You can tweet us at blissbringers. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/blissbringers. You might be able to grope us at parties.
And we might be able to grope you.
You can call us on 231-62-BLISS. If you didn't get all that, you can find all this and much more in our show notes on blissbringers.com. Until next time.
What's your pleasure?
All names mentioned in this show are either fictional, taken from public record, or held by people who have given their explicit consent to be mentioned.
The cool thing that's been happening with SF Cuties is that they're little detectives, those two.
They're sleuthy.
And they are sleuthy.
Yeah.
And
they're putting 2 to the power of 2 together, and I mean all this other kind of stuff.
It's very impressive, actually.
The SF Cuties. They're slowly becoming the most podcast famous swingers.
They're infamous.
You think so?
They're a mythical swinger couple.
Yes, the male half is a villain. The female half is an angel and a sweetheart. That is official.
I had Miss San Fran Cuties entice me with her most amazing bag of toys. She has floggers, she has paddle, finger cuff things that have claws on them. Fascinating stuff. She told me she would like to put me on the cross and beat me. And she was fantastic. So I got heavily flogged, so much so that I was tingling for like 5 days.
the male half of SF
The villain.
The villain of SF Cuties. He could not have sounded more like he was making it up as he was finishing his sentence.